our 7 o'clock public hearing is going to be continued, so we'll take you first thing. Okay?
Nice stuff on your mom. Nice stuff. Nice stuff on your mom, absolutely.
Publish a real story, like just...
It's very nice. Very, very nice. I commented.
That was one of the first times I saw her. She was
Choosing
sitting there a lot. Yeah. She couldn't.
Yeah. Where's tonight's thing? Here it is, here it is.
Okay. Are we starting? Right. Good evening, everyone. One being Attorney Wren. This is the August 28, 2019 meeting of the Auburn Conservation Commission. This meeting is being broadcast live and will be recorded for further viewing and is available at the town website, which is auburnguide.com. Before I begin tonight's hearing, I'm required to ask if anyone in the audience, that being you, Attorney Wren, is recording this meeting. Okay? If that is the case, the first item on tonight's agenda is a 7 p.m. public hearing, Green Hill Engineering, a notice of intent for 20 Tinker Hill Road. We have received a request to continue that public hearing, I presume, to our next meeting, which is on September 11. Is there a motion to continue?
Make a motion, we continue the public hearing till our next meeting at whatever time.
I'd say, well,
7
September 11th.
hold on. I think we know that, actually.
Yeah, she's already got it for 7.
She has it at 7. I believe she has it at 7 o'clock.
At 7 p.m.
Yep.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. Going to other business, at our last meeting on August 14th, we had received requests for 6 Hilltop Farm Road and 317 South Street for certificate of compliance, and that was presented by Attorney Wren, who is here this evening. So,
Good evening.
You're up. Good evening.
Just returning, I believe it was the board's decision to do site walks on each property, so we're just looking to see the results of the site walk.
That's correct. So just by way of background, these were projects that were submitted to the Conservation Commission back in 1999. I was on the board at that time. I think I'm the only member from that time that still serves on the board. I made reviews of both South Street and Hilltop Farm Road. I had a conversation with Attorney Wren earlier today where it appears the plan that was submitted and the order of conditions submitted for Hilltop Farm was for the actual, the entire project, the subdivision at that time. Of course, it would have been nice if the applicants in both cases had submitted as-built plans as was required. I recognize, however, that the properties have changed hand a few times, and there would be a certain inequity to require the current property owners to have to comply with that order, although, in my opinion, there should have been compliance back when the projects were completed. So having said that, I'm satisfied that based on my review of the property and the documentation that we can issue certificates of compliance by granting a waiver of the requirement that an as-built plan be provided. But I'm more than happy to discuss this with any members of the commission. So in that case, is there a motion?
Move that we grant the certificate of compliance
Speak up.
without coughing.
And to that,
I say that we grant the certificate of compliance for, I can't.
Okay, 6 Hilltop Farm Road.
6.
Make a motion, and we issue a certificate of compliance for 317 Southwood Street based on information received.
Okay, just by way of correction, it's actually South Street. That was a
South
typo.
Street. Okay?
Okay.
South
South
Street.
Street.
Okay, and is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. All right,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
We'll get those recorded forthwith at the registry to clear up the time.
should run there with that air conditioner. I put the wrong one on.
Yes. In fact, we'll sign them tonight. Okay? All right, you're welcome.
Where's Sheila?
Sheila in the other room.
No, actually, she had a medical appointment for a nephew, I believe. That's why she's not here.
These are Michelle's.
Okay.
Those are for Michelle.
Oh,
That's what I'm like looking for. I don't have that.
very good.
They're over there.
I'll stay here.
So, as members of the commission will remember, back on our August 14th meeting, Mr. Arnold from Goddard Consulting appeared with concerns concerning the erosion control measures at 33 Sword Street. And I think members saw the letter that I sent to FW Webb. I'm happy to report that in response to that letter, we did get a response to that letter from Beacon Engineering. I believe you all have copies. Mr. Anderson indicating that erosion control measures were reestablished at the site. Pictures were also provided to us showing the restabilization of the silt fence and other erosion control measures. And so I think at this point, I consider this matter to be resolved.
I agree with that.
Agreed.
Yep.
All right, we still have a few minutes before our next public hearing, our only public hearing tonight. I just wanted to report to the commission that I have heard nothing from DEP regarding their enforcement action with Mr. Goodman at 498 Rochdale Street. It is my intention to contact Denise Child at DEP tomorrow to see what the status is, if there is any updated status for that situation.
It's got to be pretty soggy over there.
I'm sorry?
It's got to be pretty soggy over there.
I'm
after
sure it
today.
is. Well, it's, yeah, exactly. So, moving right along, we have the minutes for July 10th, which we could not have done because we did not have a quorum, I believe.
We do. We did. Oh, at that point, we didn't, correct.
I think there was a question, I don't think we had enough
Did it-
people.
Because I was absent for that one.
Okay. All right. Any questions about the minutes for July 10th?
I did review the minutes. I didn't find any changes that needed to be made. I
Okay.
don't know if anybody else.
I was
Three
not
voting
present at
members
that meeting,
for this.
so.
I'm okay with that. I have no changes.
So unless somebody wants to make some changes, I make a motion that we accept the meeting minutes of Wednesday, July 10th, 2019, as written.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion?
No.
Okay, now, only those who were present at the meeting can
I'm abstaining.
vote on it. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay.
I abstain.
Good.
I abstain.
It's a vote. Very good, it's a vote. And then with regard to the meeting minutes of August 14th,
Same thing, very much.
I have no changes to the meeting minutes of August 14th.
Okay.
I think other members are reviewing it.
I have no issues with it.
Okay. If that's the case, is there a motion?
Seconded by Fiona. I make a motion that we accept the minutes of the Wednesday, August 14th Commission as written.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote.
Okay.
All right, very good. I have It being 7:10, the next item on our agenda is the 7:10 public hearing. I'm sorry, that's the wrong agenda. Paris Louis, ABP Inc., a notice of intent for work to be performed at 125 Oxford Street here in Auburn. Is there a motion open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. Good evening, Mr. Allen.
Good evening, Arthur Allen from Ecotech Incorporated, representing Troy's Inc., ABP at 125 North Oxford Street. As you remember, this meeting was continued from August the 14th to allow the commission a chance to review the site. Just briefly, the project consists of improvements to an existing commercial property, including the addition of a deck, first floor deck over an impervious area, upgrades to the parking lot, which will slightly reduce the total impervious area on the site, and also installation of a stormwater management system, all of which have been reviewed through the planning board by Graves for the town, and we do have a DEP file number with no comments for the project. So I would throw it back to the commission at this point.
Thank you. So I had an opportunity to review the site. We actually are familiar with it from other work that took place in that area. Everything looks to be, or basically meets the descriptions contained in both your filing and also in the plan. So I have no questions or issues with respect to the work that is proposed.
I don't have any issues. Did you say you had some issues? No, you're all set. Okay.
Gentlemen, anything?
I don't have any.
I have nothing.
Okay.
No.
All right. In that case, is there a motion to close?
Make a motion, we close the public hearing?
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second
sec-
that.
All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote.
What's that?
All right. Thank you.
Right, we got that. Rochdale, we haven't heard anything. Case file, request.
So, Mr. Arnold, I believe a copy of the Hannigan response to my letter of dated August 22nd of 2019 was forwarded to you by Ms. Conroy. Is that right?
I do not recall seeing a copy in my inbox. So if you
Well-
have a hard copy,
You can have mine.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure. Oh, she's got it, okay. It's fine.
I apologize that you didn't get it. I know she was gone for a few days at the end of last week, and I did ask her on Monday to send it to you. It's my understanding that they have reestablished erosion control measures at the property.
that's not the letter from the Hagen. That's
Oh, that's not, oh, sorry.
Yeah, you can have that copy, too.
Oh, is that the same one I have?
If you want to take a few minutes to review it, that's fine. What I'll do is I'll pass around the certificates of compliance.
Sure. This is the same one that Mike had, right?
It's August 22nd. Yep.
Got it.
Oh, yeah, sorry. This one. That cold medicine is really, it's kicking in.
Where did you go to get the cold?
Disney, it's like a petri dish of like,
My daughter was down there for 2
yeah.
years.
Why don't you wait till the Star Wars thing opened?
You know what, I'm going to forward it this way.
This
Kids are getting
tomorrow.
back
It's
to
supposed to
school,
open
so
tomorrow,
it's-
yeah.
They came back on the
That's
3rd,
bad timing. They should have opened it earlier.
$3,000 a night.
Silliness.
$3,000 a night. Yep.
what?
My granddaughter
Just
told me.
the
they were-
Star Wars
yep,
thing?
Yep, they were there for,
Wow.
she was there for 2 weeks. They were there from July 19th. They came back on August 3rd. That's true, yeah, but you know what? My husband goes, it's going downhill. No,
It is going down to,
don't you think?
a lot of people,
People in the world.
there's a lot of people from the UK there, though.
Worked with the guy that takes his wife twice a year.
minutes.
In like a week's notice, let's go. And they go and spend some money, and he loves it.
Yeah, please. You bring a family there for $3,000 a night, you spend this
Oh,
family
yeah, when
a
it
week.
was all. Big
What's 7 times 3? 20. And everything's there. You stay there. You stay there.
This way.
What's this? Oh.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Just come already.
Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mr. Arnold?
So I do appreciate that Hennigan Engineering did actually go back and install additional measures, and I did observe today that those measures were in place and that they actually did entrench the down gradient silt fence that's new. Which is in this photo here. It's the first photo that they have there. The photo in the foreground is entrenched, and although there's maintenance required at the store because there was some heavy downpours that came through, it looks like it was treating the water. And one thing I did notice, they didn't mention any type of question of was there any damage done because of the erosion control issues. That's the one thing that generally that's a conclusion that I feel always needs to be brought to the end of a report. Since there's repairs that need to be made, there was a failure, there's minor erosion. The conclusion is, was there any damage? So that, honestly, we're very thankful that that's in place and it looks like it's functioning. And if they're continuing to do maintenance like they did here, hopefully they'll do tomorrow to the point of by reinforcing the staking, which has been pushed over. That there, and if you want, I can just so that you can see what actually occurred. I want to show you just the fact that that's the staking of the footprint.
Was that about 4:30 today when it was extreme torrential rain, about 4:30?
This photo was taken around 6:30 today.
Okay.
So it was after all the rain.
Right, it was hard rainable.
Hard rain. So
Are you guys going to come in like every time it rains? Is that what's going to happen?
Honestly, the fact that they did this right, and honestly, because it tipped over, I'm not as concerned as the fact that they actually installed it correctly, because they actually entrenched it, which means like if they had done it wrong, this wouldn't have happened. The whole thing would have blown out. But it didn't, because they actually installed it correctly, and it held fairly well. I mean, obviously, someone who knows erosion control knows that running that over stakes, just caution side. But that's the issue there. So from my standpoint, and we don't feel that there were any issues from the storm from this area. So the only thing we are concerned about is there's been more sand wash off the pavement onto our pavement. Which is
She would like you to go to the podium.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So when I was there on site, I was able to observe sand in the sense of I can actually scrape it on the asphalt on 31 Sword Street with sand streaking coming from 33 Sword Street. Similar to the photos I showed the last meeting, but it's actually worse because the last meeting was silt. This is actually coarse sand. And I just want to show the commission just before and after photos of what it looks like right now versus what it looked like on photos taken.
This is on pavement, correct?
What?
This is on pavement?
On pavement, correct?
This was on pavement, yeah. So it's sand on pavement, but it washed from their pavement onto our pavement. And our pavement is collected by our catch basin, which goes into our riprap swale, both of which we are required to maintenance. And honestly, the pavement should not have been left with sand on it that would have washed off, and that's typical maintenance and simple street maintenance in the sense of when you have a construction site, you sweep all your pavement before storms, and I tell all my clients that. that make sure all your roads are swept before storms, because once it rains, any sediment on the sand can be 200 feet down the street or 100 feet into a wetland when it gets to a catch basin, because depending on the system that's there. So I just want to show you, just to show you again, this is what we're being required to clean up in our yearly maintenance, just because of the added sediment that's gone into the riprap swale, and some of it's definitely gotten into the wetland from 33 Sword Street not sweeping their pavement. So I think honestly we're very close to actually getting them to actually understand that they need to stay on top of some of these issues. And I think once they get pavement down and everything's cleaned up, the site will be great and it will function well, and that's what we're hoping for. I mean, we'd love it to be
My
done.
suggestion would be that let them finish the work, get the pavement down, and then if there are issues with the sand, that you come back before us.
Okay, can I just I just want to show you the photos and I'll submit them just so you can see them tonight. And then if we feel that there's been more impact, we can definitely provide even measurable amounts if we have to clean, when we clean it, to show how much we cleaned up. Because we have photos that when we cleaned the swale this spring. We cleaned it this spring. So we know that it was clean this spring. When we clean it this fall, we'll know that our system, our basin's been clean every single storm. And there's been measurable cleanup. So I just want to show the commission this, and then we feel that hopefully that this will quickly get done in the sense of completed, so that we don't have any more sand washing into this area.
Okay.
This is before. This is after. This is current. So you can see all of that right there. And if you really want to understand what it really looks like, here's a video showing again the light colored sand that's cleaned up.
And when was this taken?
This was taken at about 6:30
Today?
today. Yep. So you can see, you want to hear the audio, you hear me say the date and everything. So that's, it just shows.
Sorry.
Yeah, it just shows that you can see that cream-colored sand.
Well,
is now-
that's all the dense grade gravel, correct? That's stockpiled over there?
It's-
Which is a mix of
it's-
gravel,
yes.
3/4 inch stone,
Correct.
fine gray tills. Yeah, it's
Correct.
not really sand technically,
Yeah,
but
'cause
it's
if you
dense
look
grade
at-
gravel
yeah,
that washes
if
out.
you look at, this is the gravel that's actually on the pavement now, and you can see here, where's my guess? You can see that. That's the sand that's actually on the pavement. So that's what was left over after all the fines from that area washed out. So that's just, that's a very fine sample, but you can see I'm actually able to scrape it. So it's not a very fine silt, which would be I would consider de minimis in volume, but in the sense of when you have this much, that's all the streaking off on their property. You can see there's the streaking coming on our property. I mean, a lot. They definitely had some left on their property because there's a lot, but it should have been swept, and it's going right down into our catch basin right there.
All right. Noted.
We're thankful that Hennigan was willing to at least acknowledge that there were issues and that they did actually make recommendations beyond what was originally proposed to control it. And I think we hope the maintenance will continue to follow up there. And I just hope that the commissioner is able to ensure that the project is completed to full.
Very good.
Thank you.
And if there's any issues with the riprap being needed to be cleaned up and measurable, we'll be back before you to know that.
Very good. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that's the only item we have left, and that was a late
I
one.
know. It was quite late.
Is that the only item we have left?
Thinking about that. Was that for tonight?
Or is it just, it's
on
other
this.
business? Yeah.
Although I thought you continued it.
What's the story with this one? What's the story with
We haven't heard from them.
I'm sorry?
He's going to get away with it.
I actually sent you an email on Monday for you to do that. I did. He has a copy. You can keep it.
He's got one. We gave him
gave him a
ours.
copy.
We gave him one.
All right. Now,
Did he just take the one that was just there?
No, he's got the right copy. Mike, did he give you yours?
Just,
You have it? Okay.
Document the full
I'm sure we will.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. Thank
All right, thank you.
All right, then.
No, hold on. The chair would like to acknowledge Ms. Conroy.
Hello, good evening. Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Totally.
I'll just come over here and sit to see if,
Okay.
I'm ostracized up here in the corner.
Just stay on the side.
If you could move
I'm not avoiding you.
I can try and move further.
Sheila, I must say, you have big shoes to fill. I don't know if I can keep up here.
Yeah, all the excitement.
okay, so we got those all signed, okay?
We did, Mike did.
Now, did I give you those packets for the? you were
Yes, and
gonna
I'll return those to you.
Okay,
I
because
have mine. Yeah, I have mine here.
didn't make copies for myself, which was a mistake.
And then finally, on tonight's agenda, there was a request for an extension on our conditions for 404 Oxford Street.
125, yeah. Oh, yes. Here it is right here. That's what you said last one
Okay.
left.
So, let's see, when did we issue the order?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. So the order was issued back on October 12th of 2016. The request to extend was submitted within the 3-year period. And they were looking for an extension of 3 years. So is there a motion?
I make a motion that we issue a 3-year extension on that,
For 404 Oxford Street?
for 404 Oxford Street.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's a vote. I'll pass this around to everyone. Is there any new business? If there is no new business, is there a motion?
I do have one question. Sheila had sent me an email regarding Blaker Street.
Yes.
I have all my paperwork, and I went through everything, and I do not have a copy of that. Now, I believe Mike met with,
We vote on the,
We're not, oh, you're right, we're not done yet, I apologize. We have to do the order conditions for,
for Blaker Street. Yeah, I don't have a copy of the plans.
Okay.
I know that Mike met with Bill Coyle for that.
Okay.
I
I don't
did.
believe I went on that thing, but yeah, I don't have them. If
All
I
right,
did
that's
take them, I
okay.
don't have a copy of
So
them.
we've got another copy, planning or something else.
All right, so if you, this is the extension.
Extension, very
And
good.
then actually, before we adjourn, we need to issue an order of conditions for 125 Oxford Street. Okay, come on.
The chairman?
oh, you... Need a pen.
All right.
Give me a pen. Sheila, I've already used yours.
You what?
It'd be,
I've already used your pen, just don't touch your eyes or your nose.
should we be mentioning
You
the
need a pen.
patient?
Oh, you need one, okay.
Don't touch your eyes or your
16th
nose.
to invite volunteers, being any question commission. I know last year we did go, some of us did go. Is that any?
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, I'm sorry.
It's not, no, we'll do that after the meeting. Sorry. That's okay. All right, so who's going to be the brave soul who's going to do this?
What are we doing? Okay, good.
We'll let Michelle off the hook because she doesn't feel well.
And I reminded you.
I can't find an order.
I make a motion that we issue the following order of conditions regarding 125 Oxford Street in Auburn, map 10, parcel 82.
Yeah.
Standard order, plus the following special conditions. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 5, number 8, number 9, number 11, number 13,
Yeah.
and that's all.
How's 9 going to work?
Yeah, I don't think 9's going to work. They're within the 100 feet.
You said 9.
I said 9.
You did say 9.
Say,
Yep.
you said it shouldn't be there, or it should be there?
I don't think it should, or it can't be there because they're within the 100 feet with that,
Entire parking lot? Yeah, we'll have to look
at
at the
that
plan.
snow storage space based on the map they provided. They're going to be,
Right. No, correct.
Okay, so it should not be there.
9 should be.
They did, yeah, you know what, if I recall, there wasn't an area around there they were indicating it's for snow, but let's see where it is.
it's here. Gotta measure close.
Okay.
Back.
Probably, yeah, maybe. Are the further pages, you might have something?
Oh, no. Line here, but here's the wetlands flag.
Snow storage right there, there you go. Got it right in the corner.
They do have it right in the corner.
Tommy, what?
It's like swale right there, looks like, or is that just drop off right there?
Well, it drops off on the side.
That's this dash line.
So if you look at the plan, snow storage is indicated on the plan.
We got
I
197.
asked about that.
Yeah.
They're 30 feet,
What's the area?
not even.
This is the 50-foot then.
So I guess the question is there some other place they can store snow?
Basically in spots 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, that might be the only spot.
18 feet. Trying to see what the slope is over here.
Yeah.
It's tough
Yeah,
because
but
it's
isn't that where
fairly
the swale
flat.
is? That's where the swale is, though.
In that corner?
Yeah, that's what I asked about.
This is where that swale is, huh? That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
asked that.
You did?
Yeah.
There is a
So that's
swale
where
there
the
in that
swale
corner.
is.
Yep, there is one.
Yeah, so we would have to remove that because obviously that is within 100 feet. So I rescind number 9 from the special condition. Is there anybody that wants to discuss this further, or?
No. No problem with that, we'll just remove
I
9.
mean, I wasn't there, and you guys closed the hearing, but I could have had him move snow storage up.
Well, we can still address that issue in our order of conditions.
Yeah.
We're not
Change
bound
it.
by the plan.
Right.
So the question then becomes, given the footprint of the project, is there some area where we can,
It almost seems like those spots 3, 4,
The only
5.
problem with putting the spots there is it's close to the building, and it could be an issue as far as icing and stuff. You generally, when you're on a parking lot, you want to put it away from structures, so that as it melts, you don't have melt. Because even if they put salt or sand down, likely not sand because there's water there, you're going to have ice, and it becomes a serious
then
liability issue, so.
what we can do is we can actually mandate them to remove the snow within 24 hours.
True.
You know, I mean, who knows what kind of storm events there are going to be, but we can mandate that as part of the order of conditions. If
What
that is
about like a
something,
concrete wall to kind of protect?
I don't know that we can mandate them to construct something.
Well, they would probably have to remove sediment from their parking lot as maintenance anyway.
Right.
I just worry about the stove sitting there.
Well, I think, given the proximity, too, of the
24
project.
hours is not long, so.
24 hours? All right. So, Tom, do you want to amend?
But didn't he say that there was like a retention, that it was run down into the
It's a swale that eventually goes into the wetland, though.
Yep, yep.
but I thought that there was like the regeneration,
Detention?
yeah. I think that he said that they were like
Basin
sending it
in.
down into, that
got
swale
a
was
sump
sending
right
it down into that
Yeah, but the problem is that there's no storage.
That's right, 'cause it was layered,
Detention.
right?
There's no
Yeah.
detention shown on the
No, no.
It's a sump pump, but no, there's no detention basin.
Hold on. Said something about that when I asked.
That's no riprap. That is riprap right along there. 6 contour.
Pre-existing stone.
Right, that's the stuff that's there.
It's there already.
Cabins are over here. If somebody else wants to amend it, that's, I'm going to rescind number 9, and if somebody wants to make an amendment to that, we can proceed.
So the issue is, given the proximity of the property to the wetlands and the fact that there doesn't appear to be any good place to provide for snow storage, should we consider having the property owner remove accumulated snow within 24 hours?
I would agree.
All right, so does someone want to...
We need to have a...
All right, so why don't we do this, do it this way? So Tom has basically moved for standing order plus 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 11,
13.
12, and 13.
Oh, 12 as well?
There was no 12.
There is no 12.
Yeah,
Sorry,
there is no 12.
so 13.
11, 13.
And then I would amend 9 just to say that the property owner shall remove accumulations of snow greater than 6 inches within 24 hours after the storm event has ended.
Okay.
So,
Or 9?
what?
Or 9? Can they do one or the other if they wanted to put the snow in lots 3, 4, 5?
I would just like to speak for myself, that I just think that that would be a burden on a property, on a business owner, that would be unnecessary, just from my point of view, and I respect anybody else's opinion, that's fine.
Well, it doesn't have to be 6 inches if you think it should be a foot or a greater amount of snow.
I feel it should be a greater amount of snow.
That's-
Absolutely.
I don't know what the protocol
would
is
you
with all
too
the
on
other
that.
businesses in
Yeah.
the town.
Put a grader on that. I
It's-
agree with you on that.
It's a tremendous pressure. I'd say a foot of snow.
Foot of snow sounds good.
Even
I'd say a
24
foot or greater.
inches is fine. I mean, a pile of snow is, not a big deal. It's just if it turns into a mound
Big
of snow.
storm, right.
So shall we say 24 inches of snow?
24 inches?
That's 2 feet.
Okay.
The snow.
That's plenty.
2-foot storm, sure.
That's plenty.
All right.
A lot of pressure.
That's 24.
Okay.
Nice.
Thank you. Do I need to restate number 9?
No.
Okay.
No,
All
thank
right,
you.
so
No, thank you, we're all set.
there's Tom's motion, there's my amendment. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's a vote.
What were you saying about number 9?
Okay.
We're not going to include it. Okay.
No, we amended it.
Honestly, if you get 2 feet of snow anyway.
Pass it this way.
2 feet of snow. If you get 2 feet of
How
snow,
about the minutes? Did anyone do
We
that?
voted the
truck snow
minutes.
out of there.
We did
But I
this.
just think that any snow, that's a burden. It's
All right.
on any business, because there's a lot of
No,
businesses.
no corrections at all.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Wow.
We approved the
at CVS.
compliance for
All the issues we had over there.
317 South Street and
They
also
just
6
plow that snow there.
Top
And
Farm
you
Road.
think that adds to that
All right.
pond in their backyard.
And then you sign the extension.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I mean. So
And
it's
this was
kind of,
continued
you have to
and
be
then-
kind of fair, fair and not unbiased. You do stuff in 2-foot storm, he's going to be trucking snow out there, because they got nowhere to put it.
Is it something like...
Don't want to touch that piece of paper.
Something like that, yeah.
She's infected.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Which we never know.
All right, great. This is for 120.
Okay. Is there any other business? If there,
Sorry.
we'll pass this around and then we'll adjourn.
Okay. So the meeting wasn't too long, was it?
Supposed to do it in 2017.
If there is no other business, is there a motion to adjourn?
Make the motion. I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Second.